Elliot W. Eisner has made significant contributions to the field of education and is well known for his work in curriculum studies, arts education, and school reform. He spent much of his career advocating for the role of arts in education, as well as the use of arts to improve educational practice and curriculum design. Some of his notable works include The Educational Imagination, an examination of the design and evaluation of curriculum, The Arts and the Creation of the Mind, a justification of the importance of arts in education, Cognition and Curriculum, a discussion of the mind and representation, and Reimagining Schools, an argument for curriculum reform to have an arts-based emphasis. Eisner has also contributed to school reform through his work in the field of education, most notably through his book, The Kind of Schools We Need. He shared common philosophies with other educational giants, such as Howard Gardner on the idea of multiple intelligences, Donald Schoen with the benefits of reflective practice, and John Dewey on the importance of experiential learning and creativity. Elliot Eisner was born in 1933 in Chicago to a family of Russian Jewish immigrants. At a young age, Eisner displayed aptitude in the arts and began studying painting at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. He earned a Bachelor of Arts in Art and Education from Roosevelt University in 1954. Eisner began to work as a high school art teacher in Chicago while earning 2 graduate degrees in art and education, respectively, from the Illinois Institute of Technology and the University of Chicago, eventually receiving his Ph.D. in education from the University of Chicago in 1962. He went on to become an art teacher at the University of Chicago, instructor in art education at The Ohio State University, eventually joining the faculty of Stanford University as a professor of art and education, where he spent the rest of his career. Eisner was well known for his belief in the art of education, encouraging educators to look past the mechanical side of teaching and view education as an opportunity for students to express themselves through creativity. Eisner argued that the standardization movement had shifted its approach to education in a narrow and limited manner, when he stated that the current emphasis in schools on verbal and mathematical reasoning seriously biases our conception of human intelligence and significantly impedes the development of social valuable interests and aptitudes. In his work, The Educational Imagination on the Design and Evaluation of School Programs. Advocating for the role of arts in educating the whole child, Eisner argued for the inclusion of arts in the core curriculum. He believed the arts should be taught for their own sake and should model the way all other core academic subjects, such as math, science, history, language arts, are taught. Eisner's influence became more prominent when he pushed for his belief in a discipline-based art education, while serving on the advisory board for the Getty Center beginning in 1982. Over time, Elliot Eisner developed a set of what he called artistic modes of thinking, which included experiencing qualitative relationships and personal judgments, flexible purposing, attention to form and content, expression beyond language, treatment of a medium, and intrinsic motivation. Stemming from these artistic modes of thinking, students who study in a discipline-based art education cultivate critical thinking, problem solving, expression of understanding, and overall increased cognitive abilities. Often called a cognitive pluralist, Eisner believed the arts enabled students to become better learners through constantly forming qualitative relationships between the different elements of music. When composing a piece of music, students must work with unlimited sequences of sound patterns to create an aesthetically pleasing experience, making personal judgments about these qualitative relationships between sound patterns, without depending on formulas or rule-guided procedures commonly used in subjects like mathematics and language arts. In this way, Eisner believed students learn how to solve problems and think critically, which can then be applied to all other academic subjects. Eisner also articulated his belief that an arts-based education allows students to express their understanding of material without being constrained to verbal construct. When writing an article entitled, "What Can Education Learn from the Arts About the Practice of Education?" for the Journal of Curriculum and Supervision, Eisner memorably stated, "The limits of our cognition are not defined by the limits of our language." In his argument, Eisner explained how music gives students the opportunity to demonstrate their understanding through authentic performances of a task in the nonverbal modes of learning and expression. It is here where Eisner argued that educators must introduce students to the art of education, coining the term the art of doing. Through treating education and learning as an art form, Eisner believed teachers enable students to deepen their understandings and express and recover meaning in all content areas. Ultimately, Eisner confronted the trend in education to focus on the end product of the standardization of learning. Instead, he argued educational policymakers and curriculum practitioners should develop curriculum with an arts-based emphasis to give students the best overall understanding possible and instill an inspiration for lifelong learning.